Out here being silly. Birds out here full of silliness. All right, we'll do our audio check here.
So, you want a burger with...
I don't want a burger. I'm okay. I had dinner. Stupid Culvers. Birds out here. All right, we'll do our audio check here. Audio check's fine. Hey, gang, how's it doing? How's it going? What you doing? It's been a minute, huh? We haven't streamed in a while. Oh, that is a good stretch. All the way deep in your bones. So, I hope you all had a good holiday break. I was gone for a week, and then I got back, and I've just been making a ton of videos. We're making those build guides we promised. The ice bath stream / video thing is coming. I'm just waiting for there to be snow because it is not environmentally friendly, economically friendly, or a smart idea to go to the store and buy enough ice to get a whole bathtub to be cold as shit, rather than just wait for it to snow in Minnesota, which is usually a pretty safe bet. And you can just go outside, grab 2 buckets of snow, pour them in the bathtub, pour water on the snow, wait for it to equilibrate a little bit, then you have a cold as shit bathtub, and nobody got hurt. Ugh. How you doing? Got In-Cars, Jepalu, Olaf, Hayseed trolling me as I stall for time, allow people to gather. If you don't remember from the Clan Cup we did with this format, I'll pull up the Photoshop so you can see that. With this format, each stream is only 5 games long. It is guaranteed to be 5 games, and we'll get into that in a second, but I generally tend to dick around at the start and give people some time to gather, just because the stream in its entirety is usually around 45 minutes. It's nice and digestible content, but if you show up late, you're missing a lot of it. So I'll at least give people an honest shot of being here on time. Minnesota. Yeah, that's true. For now, we have a kitty cat. Channel plans, huh? Making those faction guides. Bird, if you're still in the audience, might have to do a Wood Elf guide together. And no, you can't just say triple Way Watcher, otherwise don't bother. That's not an acceptable answer. You're gonna have to do all the factions. Unless you don't want to, which is also fine. I gotta wrangle up Sipa for some Dark Elves. We had Flying Taco for Ogres. We had Blood Penguin for Kislev and Empire. We had Rider Rohan for High Elves. Not all those have been released yet. We had In-Cars for Tomb Kings. I think that one came out, but I'm not actually sure if that one came out yet. I don't know. I'm doing some of the ones that are simple enough by myself anyway, because it's not worth getting like a expert of Bretonnia to tell us all the things we already know about Bretonnia. Same with Nurgle. Same with Vampire Coast, though I actually play a good amount of Vampire Coast. Alright, there's 24 people here. We have stalled for long enough. Welcome to the World Cup, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason you're looking at a monitor and not at Warhammer. If I trigger my stream software, you're on Warhammer? Hey. Don't black screen. There you go. You're on Warhammer, you're on a desktop. You're on Warhammer, you're on a desktop. We're starting on the desktop because I wanted to show you the bracket. We have 21 teams, each made up of 5 people, which means that this World Cup actually got 105 people signed up for it. That makes me very excited. I am quite happy with that. Each team, if we pop back over the Photoshop, each of these 21 teams is set up like this. They have 5 players who aligned themselves in land battles, conquest, and domination mode. All 5 games will be played no matter what. People took the time to get on this team, practice, and work with their team for picks and bans. They will get a chance to fight for their team. Even if their team is already 0-3 and the battle is lost, they still get to play their games. So there's no need for a blocker because every time we stream, there's going to be 5 replays. It's not a spoiler seeing how many replays there are, right? For today's battle, we have Antarctica versus the United States 4th team that was put together. They're not power ranked. It was just literally the 4th team to bring me a roster from the United States. And I said, sweet, USA 4. So it'll be Galroch, Dane, World Beater, MFG, and General Eisenbart defending the honor of Antarctica versus Valkanos. That's a name I haven't seen for a while. Happy to see him. Big JP, Twerkman, Platypus, and Dustman. And in case Big JP watches the VOD later, Mukau is here cheering for you, buddy. I'm currently scritching his little noggin. The 1 hour vid of you yapping. Oh yeah, we got Gotrek Starbreaker for Dwarves too. That'll be fun. But now that you know what the teams look like, just glancing back at the bracket real quick, we have Spain. Spain brought 2 teams. Scandinavia, Italy, Germany brought 2 teams. Georgia, the Balkans, which we just kind of lumped them together. And Georgia's not the state, it's the country. Czech Republic. Or are they Czechoslovakia right now? My geography's not great. Antarctica and USA 4 we're watching today. We have USA 3 versus Canada. France, Spain 2, and Russia 2. So Russia brought 2 teams. Mexico, Switzerland, Russia, USA 2, the Netherlands, and Team America World Police, which is USA 1. And it is a team that some of their members sponsored this event quite heavily, so when they wanted their name to be Team America World Police, I allowed it. Sometimes you just allow things when Business Daddy tells you to. I am on USA 2, along with Hayseed, who's in the chat, in cars, Captain Tealis in the chat. Everybody's there except for Blood Penguin. We're Team USA 2. We're going to beat the Netherlands. Don't you worry. But yeah, I think I'll have 1 stream today, maybe 2 streams tomorrow. Because if you take a look, and I stop stalling, 1 second. Galroch versus Dane. Got it. Sorry, Galroch versus Valkanos is game 1. Cool. I know what I'm looking for. Anyway, if you take a look at this, you'll see that I have all 5 Czech replays as well. That should be ready for tomorrow. And then Scandinavia, I believe I have 4 of theirs. Scan 4, 5, 3, and 1. Yes, so I need Scandinavia 2. And the players say that that one is done. They're just waiting to send it to me. As far as spoilers go, I do know who wins between Antarctica and USA 4. I've never seen these games before. The only reason I know is I know which team won, because I told them to start coordinating with their next team so that this can keep moving. I've never seen the games, and I actually don't remember what the score is. They told me, I don't remember. I'm managing a lot of teams right now. I'm dealing with 21 teams. When one team tells me it was X score, I'm like, cool, and that information immediately leaves my brain. So all I know is which team ultimately wins. All right, let's find Galroch and get this shit started. Galroch! Oh, yeah, sorry. One last thing. Each team banned a faction. You can see them at the top. So Antarctica banned the Empire, America banned the Dwarves. They did this before the tournament started, before they knew who their opponent was. And that'll stick with them for the whole tournament. So Empire and Dwarves will not be present in this soiree. Okay, enough stalling. So this is the first game. Galroch on the Ogre Kingdoms versus Valkanos on the Tomb Kings. You will be seeing try-hard builds for the most part. I don't think anybody was memeing. A lot of people have been taking this event quite seriously, and we can see that in the factions chosen here. Tomb King's very strong. Ogre Kingdom's very, very strong, so good first start. Twist, how's it going? It's going good. It's Chechia. Rip. Okay. For Galroch and Team Antarctica, we're starting off with a Noblar and Piggyback Rider mixed front line. Crushers with great weapons and Sabertusk packs on the flanks. We do have a regular Giant, a Tyrant, and then a Firebelly with just Burning Head. Sabertusk packs in the back, and 1 Lead Belcher in case of a Tomb Guard box. Can we get a real map of Antarctica, not including the ice sheets? I don't know how to do that! On the other side for Valkanos and the Tomb Kings, front line of Skeleton Spears and Tomb Guard Halberds. Some Skeleton Horsemen, Necropolis Knights with Halberds, 2 of them, double Necrosphinx as well, and then Arc in the Black with just Spirit Leech for a spell. Wild. I don't know if I've ever seen double Necro Knight with Halberd and double Necrosphinx. I've seen one, I've seen the other. I've never seen them both. I'm really scared that this is going to be too narrow. Yeah. So here's how I think this is going to go down. I think the Piggyback Riders and the Noblars are going to be capable of killing off Skeleton Spears. The late game is going to come down to these 2 snakes and these 2 big cats in a blob. And then the Ogres are going to peel back and cycle charge with their Crushers and shoot them with the Lead Belchers. And I think the Tomb Kings will get attritioned out. We'll see. Realizing the Tomb Kings have literally no ranged in this build. They are all melee. The Lead Belchers feel free as a bird to kite. And actually, this could get really bad for the Tomb Kings. The Skeletons are slower than the Noblars. Okay, Nobblers are going to charge. I was wondering if they just like hard kited these guys and forced the Necropolis Knights to overextend, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Piggyback Riders just going to take the charge of Skeleton Spearmen. They don't have much to fear. They're much better combatants than the Skeleton Spearmen are, so they should crush that fight pretty easily. I mean, if a giant cat with sword arms comes flying through, then that might change things a little bit, but not by too much. And a Burning Head is even going to seal the fate of these Skeleton Spears. Crusher's getting Spirit Leeched at first. Decent target. I mean, the Ogres are going to probably get a tier 3 army ability at some point in the game, so they'll just heal up the Crushers, but it's not a terrible target. Tyrant has his own healing through his snacks, and the Firebelly is staying pointedly very far away from Arkan. I think Valkanos realizes that this isn't going to be the type of game that's going to go very long, as the Necropolis Knights are already under attack by the Crushers and the Sabertusk packs, but this might be an overextension from the Ogre Kingdoms. Crushers pushed back, Sabertusk already terror routing, so leaving them all alone, and Arkan's Skeleton Warrior Summon getting in the way of those Crushers, stopping them from retreating. Actually, a pretty big loss for the Ogres on this flank. Battle is overall going fine, but on this flank, that is a terrible start for the Ogre Kingdoms. Now, one Necropolis Knight for the Tomb Kings has overextended. It looks like they thought they saw some juicy Lead Belchers undefended, but the Crushers were nearby enough to catch these guys out. So on one side, we lost Crushers and a Sabertusk. On the other side, we lost an entire Necropolis Knight with Halberd. Both sides making slight mistakes in the early game. Spirit Leeches have started onto the Tyrant. He is going to heal up with those snacks, but if the Necropolis, the Necrosphinxes, sorry, find him, they'll do a lot of damage. So I suppose Arkan just wants to start reducing that heal cap nice and early. It looks like the Tomb Kings are going for the Lord Snipe. They're up a bit on the balance of power. I think they realize the long game doesn't favor them. They need to snipe out the Tyrant, reduce the leadership of the Ogres even further, and get more routes like they did up there with those Skeleton Horsemen chasing off the Crushers. That's a huge win. Now this is exactly what we were concerned about. Tyrant is isolated, fighting both the Necrosphinxes. Crushers were just resetting their charge bonus, however, they take so much damage on the charge back in. Holy shit. They're getting fucked up. They're already almost dead! As the Giant waddles in, he wants to participate in this SEM duel, but the Crushers are not ITP. We saw the other ones tear out earlier. It looks like these guys are closely following them. Necropolis Knights Halberd's taking a lot of damage, but those double Necrosphinxes are completely uncontested HP-wise. They haven't taken any damage at all, and there go the Crushers after taking a massive amount of damage. Burning Head down the line to clear out the Spearmen. And the late game is going to come down to Noblars and Piggyback Riders. Can they defend the Lead Belchers? That's going to be hard to do against all that mass, because they can just path through the Piggyback Riders if push comes to shove. Maybe the Giant and Tyrant can hold their attention for a bit, as the Lead Belchers are trying to help out against the Tomb Guard Halberds in the distance, who are getting close to crumbling. Arkan routes off those guys, and the Tomb Kings take a pretty decisive lead on the balance of power. Not decisive like the game's going to end, but decisive like I don't have to guess who's ahead anymore. Necropolis Knights bounce out, and the Lead Belchers, this is what we're worried about. There's no one left to defend them. These Noblars and Piggyback Riders are going to take a while to catch up to what's going on, and by then the Lead Belchers will already be dead. It's down to the Tyrant and the Giant to try and duel it out, and that's not going great, to be honest. Necrosphinx getting some big hits in already. Both of them still quite healthy. And Hazel's mad. Go Antarctica. Antarctica's trying. Giant is really the last hope for the Ogres. He got a Meat Feast heal. Maybe if he can duel these Necrosphinxes, he'll do okay. The Tyrant is supporting him, which is nice. Lead Belcher's still kiting away from Arkan. Somehow they got separated from the Necropolis Knights Halberds. Looks like maybe a Sabertusk pack rallied off screen and charged them and just bought a little bit of time. You guys aren't escaping from Arkan, Lead Belchers. If I were you, I'd throw on guard mode and just get a couple volleys on the Necropolis Knight Halberds. At least take those guys out. The Giant is actually beating the piss out of this Necrosphinx. Holy shit. Is he going to do it? As he gets back to his feet, the Necrosphinx waits patiently for its opponent to stand up. But we're getting some Sabertusk packs. If the Giant and Tyrant can fight on top of these Piggyback Riders and Noblars, they actually stand a chance. Necrosphinx getting close to crumbling. It gets pushed back further and further towards the Piggyback Riders, who are coming to save the day! But the Giant's down to half HP and his heal cap is in sight. Is there another tier 3 army ability? I think that is a lot to ask for. Like, maybe there is, but I doubt it, as the first of 2 Necrosphinxes fall, and all of a sudden the Tomb King's confidence is shaky at best. Go, Giant, go! Kick his ass! Kick his ass, Giant! Holy! This Giant doesn't take no for an answer, as the Tyrant is fecklessly just sitting around his ankles doing nothing. The Tomb Kings are in actual trouble. As the summon fades away, the Lead Belchers were not chased off the map by Arkin. Arkin had more important things to do. Arkin is currently fighting the Firebelly with some Necropolis Halberds, but that means the Lead Belchers can fire in and offer a little bit of support and try to save that guy. The Necrosphinx is crawling back to Arkin like, boss, boss, it didn't go good. It went real bad. Johnny died. Johnny died, boss. Firebelly dies, but he takes the Necro Knights with him. We have one Skeleton Horseman just to help chase off anything that is routing, and then Arkin and a Necrosphinx are going to have to carry this. Now the Tyrant may have gotten out a bit ahead of himself here. He doesn't have the Giant with him, and the Giant was the winner. Tyrant, I think you need to understand that. You're not the big winner here, it's the Giant. The Giant is the weapon strength. Please get away from the Necrosphinx. Necrosphinx knows how the 2v2 went, and it didn't go his way, so a 2v1 looks even worse. Immediately starts to run away from that Giant. Skeleton Horseman going to charge these Lead Belchers, get rid of them. Arkin can cast Spirit Leech, and Tyrant only gets healing from his snacks when he is in melee. So Arkin wants to avoid melee with him at all costs. I think he's going to try and pick a fight with Noblars to try and charge up the Tomb Blade of Arkin. I think that only recharges when he's in melee, right? Yeah. So he's trying to get a Skeleton Summon. Until then, the Tomb Kings are trying to buy time. Because if Arkin has a Skeleton Summon, then the Necrosphinx can duel okay with these two. Maybe with Arkin helping as well, but without a Skeleton Summon, it's just too easy for the Giant to keep clapping those cheeks. But the Tyrant did get in here. He's starting to get his snacks healing from poking around the Skeleton Horseman. And he is, I don't know how much they're charging, but they are charging up Ogre's Army passive. Necrosphinx closing in on the piggyback riders. Looks like these guys will probably route on contact from the Terror. No, they hold on, and this is a terrible time for the Necrosphinx. It has to path straight through spears. It does take some damage there, but the Tyrant is caught up with it. Again, he is healing, and right now the Necrosphinx isn't fighting back. It's getting very low. A Spear Leech out on the Tyrant, but it's not going to be enough as the Giant also catches up, and crumbling starts for the Necrosphinx. Soon it'll be just Arkin. He has to do something. He really needs a Skeleton Summon if they're going to win this game at all, but another meat feast happened for the Giant. Heal capped Giant. It's gonna be fine as it brings down the Necrosphinx. Arkin is officially alone. But what about the Skeleton Horsemen? What the fuck are Skeleton Horsemen gonna do? Nothing. They're gonna suck and die. Skeleton Warriors pop up to save Arkin a little bit of pressure, but there is no hope. The Tyrant is constantly healing off these skeletons. The Giant is unfazed, and Arkin doesn't have that kind of stopping power. We are just waiting at this point for the game to end. I literally think there is no way for the Tomb Kings to win this. I just don't see it. Like, the Skeleton Summon's going to fade away, and it's going to heal the Tyrant more than hurt him. A wounded Skeleton Horseman is not a threat to all these guys, and oh wow, they even just get dismembered for the extra damage. I don't think they're even doing that for the slow. They just want the damage. They want this game to be over. Skeletons 30 seconds until army losses. At this point, I will times 2 speed because Arkin's just trying to buy time for more Spirit Leeches or something. There he charges back in. The final ride of Arkin, but he's not even a match for the Tyrant, much less the Giant. I think if you take everything off the battlefield and just leave the Giant, Ogre Kingdom still win. If you take everything off the battlefield and just leave the Tyrant, I think it's an even fight. But that Giant is not going anywhere. Skeleton Summon fades, and now I think army losses is here. Boop. There we go. Jack Norman promoting another YouTuber's content on my content. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. We can't allow that. Good comeback from Galrach. I was kidding, by the way, Jack. You're fine. Good comeback from Galrach. It was looking really suspect there. When it was the two Necrosphinxes versus a Giant and a Tyrant, I thought the Ogres were done. I thought the Necrosphinxes were just going to kill them super easily, and then the Giant just beat their ass. Holy... All right, good start for Team Antarctica. They are on the board. I like how the Halberds and the Spearmen got literally the same value, 83 gold value. Skeleton Horsemen ran off anything that routed. The Necropolis Knights did okay. Necrosphinxes did okay. Arkin did very well. It was a good start from Valkanos and the Tomb Kings when he routed off a Crusher and a Saber Tusk for pretty much free. This one, the one that got 170 value, ran it off the map. That was really cool. But I think Valkanos and I had the same sentiment on how that battle was going. I feel like he was like, yeah, 2 Necrosphinxes versus a Giant and a Tyrant is a good idea. And then he looks back and one of the Necrosphinxes is dead and the Giant and the Tyrant are fine. He's like, what the fuck? Smells like up, Skaven, in this chat room. What's up, Skaven? Wow. Wow, I just fell for it. Question, do you feel like ogres versus dwarves an even fight, or is it one side favored? Dwarf favored, because ogres aren't as good at taking out gyrocopters as you'd think. Alright, I was checking in no chat. Let us pull up the scorecard. Pew! I will highlight Galroch's name. Oh, damn it. I don't need that. I need to highlight Galroch. No, I guess Platypus is the top of the order. I just need the top name. Okay. So let's switch over to green check marks. We'll stay positive, and we'll give Galroch a green check mark. That is 1 point for Antarctica. On the board. Dane versus Big JP. Let's get her done. Dane versus Big JP. More Tomb Kings, but this time for the other side. Each team is treated like a single person in a best of 5, so you won't just see Ogre Kingdom's Tomb Kings, Ogre Kingdom's Tomb Kings, Ogre Kingdom's Tomb Kings, Ogre Kingdom's Tomb Kings. So USA used Tomb Kings. They can't use them anymore. Antarctica used Ogres. So now Antarctica picks Tomb Kings. Looks like Big JP and America are countering with Khorne. Okay. Dane going with more shooting than literally none. We have 2 Sparkle Stalkers and the Chosen of the Gods Ushabti Greatbow ROR, Skeleton Spears to defend them, some Tomb Guard with Halberds, and then double Sphinx, though this one has Cetra the Imperishable on a normal Kemerian War Sphinx, and he brought Curse Blades of Protection, while the Sphinx Usef ROR is here to support. For Khorne, 4 Chaos Furies and Valkia flying through the skies. Then we have Skull Reapers, Marauders of Khorne, Wrathmongers, and Minotaurs. Heavily investing in the new DLC infantry units. I have been shown their strength by Sipa recently. He took them in this matchup in a replay that is out on my channel, yes. So he showed that they did pretty well there, but he was also talking to me a bit about them. So we have seen that they can do nicely. And since the Tomb Kings are so good at dealing with large targets, now that the Sphinxes are better, I do think these like low model elite infantry can be a decent thing into them. Because Cetra's cycle charging will still do a lot of damage, but you still have to be careful of the Minotaurs, so Cetra can't leave his own formation, which reduces a lot of the time he can cycle charge around. Usirian's Incantation of Vengeance, quite powerful against cavalry, less powerful against infantry, but seeing as there is no cavalry for him to use them on, he just opts to use it at all. Chaos Furies get instantly deleted, and like I constantly say, that is not nothing. That's like a 600, 650 gold unit that is just deleted off the map, so pretty good start for the Tomb Kings there, but Khorne is in, and Khorne is here for violence. Minotaurs get straight through the front line and get back to the chopping. I'm worried a little bit. They're quite clumped up. If the Ushabti Greatbows can get away from here and start firing in, they can do extreme damage. Maybe Sparkle Stalkers too, but Chaos Furies nicely piling in from Big JP, stopping all these guys from getting shots off. You can see the Sparkle Stalkers are just stuck in melee now. They're not able to get those dangerous ranged attacks, and Valky is stopping the other one. Mino's still taking a lot of damage, however, but I've seen this before in other replays. As Khorne starts to peel through that Skeleton Spearman front line, we will get to a late game situation where the Chosen of the Gods are forced to just run from infantry forever, so they're not able to stop and shoot, and then slowly the 2 cats get whittled down by other infantry, by Minotaurs, by Valkia herself, so I'm actually very concerned for the Tomb Kings right now. Minos get in there with the support of Valkia. They're going to try and fight their way to safety. Something is happening here. Ooh, Ushabti Summon. I was trying to figure out Sword of Khorne on her own units? That felt weird. Ushabti Summon just to provide mass and spook the Minotaurs a little bit, get them to rout and allow Cetra to keep moving, because the Minotaurs are currently getting in his way, so this offers him more freedom. The Tomb Kings trying to rely on Tomb Guard with halberds to not crumble as fast as their regular front line did. The Ushabti Great Bows getting a couple shots off into the Minotaurs of Khorne, but there's not much left to chase off these guys. So they're going to have to let these guys run away and then come back, rally, get another charge in, but Cetra's just going to be bogged down in a bunch of Wrathmongers and Skull Reapers. Very elite infantry for Khorne. The cats have to try and clear. Chosen God's taking some damage, but the Tomb Guard, precious space. I think the Sphinx is trying to get a rear charge over here, rout the Marauders, and kill the Chaos Furies. Could be quite nice for them. That Ushabti is fake. It fades away in 35 seconds. Valkia has one Spear of Sleipnir left. I wonder where she uses it. She's got to use it soon, otherwise it's going to be useless. Mercy the Mad just raided us? What up, Mercy? Hope you're doing good. I didn't know you'd be up this late. I thought I was the only one up this late. There goes the Chaos Furies. Balance of power is staying about 50-50. I would rather be Khorne than Tomb Kings in this situation, but okay, Balance of power, you do you, buddy. You do you. Is this an internet game? Wicked, it is an internet game. I've always liked Cameron Morsing's animations. They're so playful and excited to be there. They are pretty sick. I'm glad they're better and not terrible anymore. I wish they weren't crazy overpowered scene in every game, but like, I'm glad they're not terrible. I would rather have this than what they were before. Sphinx Usef's getting very low, Cetra's getting very low, and the bounce power is finally catching up with where I was about an hour and a half ago, saying that this might just be over. Tomb Kings into Khorne can be a solid matchup for the Tomb Kings, but I think this map was just too small, so they didn't have time for the Chosen Gods really to get any impactful damage out. The Sepulchral Stalkers had troubles moving around how tight of a box formation they were in, and that's just GG. Double Kitty is so overrated. People need to realize the Tomb Kings are so good elsewhere. They are good elsewhere, Tilas. I agree. Wicked, if you can't play, then our matchup next Monday is going to be awkward, because it'll just be a free win for me. USA 4 strikes back, bringing us to 1-1. And the Tomb Kings are 0-2. It's official. They're a weak faction and they need buffs. CA, you know what to do. For the victorious Khorne, the Skull Reapers and Wrathmongers churned through the front line with gusto. The Wrathmongers even did good damage on the big single entities, apparently, judging by their damage value. And the Minotaurs did fine. Blocker time, not really a blocker, more of a scorecard. Here's your point, big JP. 1-1. Let's move on to conquest mode. We'll have World Beater versus Twerkman. What are you, some kind of Twerkman? Okay, World Beater versus Twerkman. Dark Elves and Ogres. Can you guys tell what factions are strong yet? You're seeing some repeats? Tomb Kings, Ogres. Khorne's actually pretty strong. I haven't seen a repeat of that yet. So Dark Elves look like they're going to try and be kiting the Ogres. Could work. You can take out the Thunder Tusk. Though with 2 Lead Belchers and the Thunder Tusk, you're actually pretty hard pressed to do a lot, even with 4 repeater crossbows and a bolt thrower. I gotta get back to the chat. The chat needs me. The miners write about you and their tirade and their friends. I mean, you are. All right. For Antarctica in game 3, scores all tied up. 4 Dark Rider Peter crossbows, 1 Reaper bolt thrower, and then Dark Riders and Coldland Knights and Dread Spears. Pretty simple ground for us. We have a Sorceress of Fire on a Manticore. She provides Terror, Burning Head, and Cascading Fire Cloak. On the other side, for the Ogre Kingdoms, they are not about to be kited. They instead have a Thunder Tusk, 2 Lead Belchers to counter kite, and then some Mornfang Cav with great weapons, Nobbler Trappers, and Ogre Bulls for a front line. 3 Piggyback Riders, as is usual. You might be like, why not 5? We limit Piggyback Riders to 3 in our tournaments. Just a lot of the players thought that would be more fun, and we took a vote, and it won pretty handedly, so we do that. So the players voted on that one. Don't get mad at me. Flock of Doom for the caster. Oof, on the far side, it looks like Mornfang Cav got their first eatons. Dark Rider's getting crushed, but was it all a bait as repeater crossbows fire in and Golden Knights try and get a counter charge? They don't quite catch the Mornfang Cav, but they do rout the Noblar Trappers, which Noblar Trappers cost about as much as the Dark Rider with shields. Not a terrible trade. On the other side, a similar thing is going, so actually the exact same fight is happening on two different sides. So this side has two Golden Knights, and they actually caught the Mornfang Cav. Over there, Mornfang Cav thinking about going back in, but they aren't doing it quite yet. Golden Knight's getting a lot of damage out on the Mornfang Cav. That's going very well for them. And the Thunder Tusk is not doing as much kiting as I thought. It is actually just opting into the fight. It's trying to help out the Mornfang Cavalry as the Golden Knights get in there. But without Murderous Mastery or Murderous Prowess or whatever, the Golden Knights aren't that good of a fighting force. They're okay, but they really need that extra 15 leadership to stay in the game. As you can see, they're about to tear a rout before Murderous Mastery procs, but more Golden Knights coming in. And actually, yeah, this is turning into a pretty good flank engagement here for the Dark Elves. On both sides, Mornfang Cavalry are getting taken down. And now the Thunder Tusk is in a bad situation. He doesn't have support. Ogre Bulls and Piggyback Riders marching over to make sure that he doesn't stay alone for too long. Still, okay stuff by the Dark Elves. Supreme Sorceress diving into Lead Belchers to occupy their time a little bit while Dread Spears come in, and the Dark Red Peter Crossbows getting into the back line, trying to harass these Mornfang Cav that are just rallying now, get them to rout again, but have they overextended themselves as Ogre Bulls are going to get a downhill charge on them unless the Dread Spears peel? Looks like they are. So far the Dark Elf roster is working well together, a lot of synergy. I am worried about the Supreme Sorceress of Fire. She might be in a bit too deep. Slaughtermaster's not the scariest combatant in the world, but he'll get the job done eventually. Dark Red Peter Crossbow's got to fall back from the Thunder Tusk. Looks like this side is a lost cause as Ogre Bulls are trying to get through Dread Spears with Piggyback Rider support. They'll probably win that, and these Golden Knights are busy doing other things. Sorceress of Fire gets up in the sky, and the Dark Elves are looking really bad on the balance of power. It doesn't feel like it's that bad, but I guess it is. Piggyback Riders are beating up the Dread Spears because they're Piggyback Riders and they're crazy strong. I think there's much ado about the Sorceress having not that much HP, which is overblown, in my opinion. Because the Slaughtermaster had full HP and she's almost dead, but both of them are just supportive Caster Lords, so it's not that big of a deal. If these Golden Knights can get back there and shut down that other Lead Belcher, ooh, that's going to be a good burning head. Whee! Take that, Piggyback Riders, you stupid bastards! Alright, they're routing. Nice. Other Lead Belchers still firing away at the Golden Knights to get rid of them. And that Bolt Thrower is free and clear to keep firing. I wonder what he's even going to shoot at, though. Shooting at the Thunder Tusk. Uh-oh. The Thunder Tusk looks like he's going straight for the Sorceress. And he could probably two-shot her. One hit to rout her, and then he might just, like, follow her off the map with his Frostbite. Misses the first attack, though. And then starts to get away. Opal Amulet keeps her relatively safe. She gets back up in the sky like she needed. Routed off the Lead Belchers. I'm really liking the Dark Elf strategy right now. I feel like they've made a lot of the right decisions. So these Cold Knights are back for chasing off the Mornfang Cav. We Piggyback Riders over there. Ogre Bulls, Ogre Bulls, Ogre Bulls. That sucks. A Dismember slow of 60% plus the Chill Aura. These... Ugh. Dark Rider Pure Crossbows down to 9 speed. And then they get frostbitten. Oh, poor guys. They're having such a hard time getting away. Anyway, what I was gonna say is Piggyback Riders can all be killed by Burning Head. So as long as the game goes long enough, all the Piggyback Riders won't be a factor. So the real stuff we have to worry about are some Wounded Ogre Bulls, a Slaughtermaster, and the Thunder Tusk. For the Dark Elves, though, it's not like they have a ton of stuff. They have 2 Repeater Crossbows that are taking damage and getting Flock of Doomed as we speak. A 3rd health Golden Knight, and we did have a Bolt Thrower that is just now getting attacked by Ogre Bulls. And without that constant poke, I mean, that's a lot of DPS off the map. Now, maybe a rear charge in from these Dark Riders can rout the Ogre Bulls, but they don't bring a lot of damage to the party, and there's no terror nearby or anything, so it's not like the Ogre Bulls are going to terror out. I think the Ogre Bulls will withstand the charge and stabilize their leadership enough to keep fighting, but they get down to 1 leadership, as I mentioned it. Oh, they hold! And they hold long enough to maybe kill the Bolt Thrower. But man, it's close. For now, the Bolt Thrower is shut down. Another beautiful Burning Head takes out Noblar Trappers. Dark Rider Pure Crossbows firing in onto that Thunder Tusk yet again. Slaughtermaster is slowly taking poke in these Dread Spears, and Cold Knights are getting a downhill charge. That's a pretty decisive engagement, and the Ogre Bulls are peeled, so the Reaper Bolt Thrower is still online. A Cold Knight's downhill charge into the Thunder Tusk, get a good surround on it, while there's repeater crossbow fire, and the Manticore caster was thinking about jumping in, but looks like she's thinking against it. Instead is going to go get a charge onto the Slaughtermaster of Beasts, but this is the best situation the Dark Elves can hope for. That Bolt Thrower needs to get back online, and it is. It looks like it's trying to shoot at those Ogre Bulls. In comes the charge of the Manticore, good damage on the Slaughtermaster. She can't stay and fight too long. Good rear charges, but if he turns and starts fighting back, you got to piece out of here. Really good damage from the Manticore caster, though, but he's turning and he's going to fight. Run! Run away! Don't take the damage! Oh, big chop to the face. Trying to get a couple more shots out, but he has 3,000 HP. You have 780. You really got to opt out of this fight. Cascading Fire Cloak gives a bit of extra melee defense. That is pretty crucial. He only has 30 melee attack right now. She has 58 melee defense, and she keeps trying to get shots in. Piggyback Riders are coming to the aid of their Slaughtermaster, and we have some rallying units that need to be brought back into the fight. It looks like they are, and the Terror rode in onto the Slaughtermaster. She did it. Hold on. Oh shit, that's a bad thing. No, that's a really bad thing. Thunder Tusk comes out of nowhere. I thought he was busy elsewhere, but he's back. He immediately takes out the Supreme Sorceress, and the Jav Thrower on her back should be able to finish her off, even if she is up in the sky. She is crazy slowed down because of his multiple freezing auras. And I'm just waiting for that spear chucker guy on the back to decide to take her out. Looks like he's not going to do that. He's just going to thunder along after these guys. Does anybody else think the Thunder Tusk charge looks weird, by the way? It looks really off synchronization. The Slaughtermaster is successfully chased off the map by Dread Spears. I am as shocked as you are, and the Dark Elves need a miracle right now because Balance of Power is counting them entirely out. I'm not ready to call this game just yet. Ooh, but with all the repeater crossbows off, never mind. There's no damage that can kill the Thunder Tusk. Anyway, what I was trying to say is Army Loss is counting them off pretty early because without the Slaughtermaster, these Piggyback Riders could actually be charged down pretty well. But yeah, there's nothing to kill Thunder Tusk, so it's GG. That one is going in the book. Rude. Thunder Tusk charge looks like it has to be 100 plus ping. Yeah, it looks weird. It doesn't look correct. Thunder Tusk did very well. Mornfang Cav got picked off. Lead Belchers both did quite nicely. Noblo Trappers did fine. Ogre Bulls did fine. And Piggyback Riders did okay, with Twerkman's Lord getting 1,500 value. World Beater, on the other hand, used his Manticore caster quite well. Distracted Lead Belchers 2 different times, routed them off once, and then got a really good fight onto the Slaughtermaster that I thought was ill-advised, but he managed to clutch it out just barely. But that Thunder Tusk from left field took him down. Oof. Dread Spears did very well. Dark Riders did okay. Cold Knights did okay. Dark Rider Peter Crossbows feel like they just don't do that much damage anymore. I don't know what that's about. And the Bolt Thrower did quite nicely. GG. What was that? Game 3? Take a look here. So Twerkman on the Ogre Kingdoms gets USA its second win. It's 2-1. Remember, we do cast all 5 games no matter what the score is, but USA does need one more victory to put them over the top and get to the next round of the tournament. I think all 3 games have been pretty close. I'm trying to remember. Galrach of Dalkanos was the crazy Ogre Kingdoms comeback. Dane versus Big JP was a pretty decisive Khorne win. Yeah. It wasn't a shit stomp, but it was pretty clear Khorne was ahead. And then this one, it was very close. It came down to just a half health Thunder Tusk. I don't think that Piggyback Rider would have survived all the rest of the Dark Elf forces, but nothing was left to kill the Thunder Tusk, so pretty close game so far today. Good job, everybody. Let's find MFG versus Le Platypus. Platypus going for the kill with the Demons of Chaos. Very powerful roster right now. MFG trying to stay in it with Beastmen, who fell out of the top tier. Now they're just a, like, strong faction. You know, they're strong, they're good, but I don't hear a lot of people complaining about them. People complain about demons and dwarves and Empire and Tomb Kings and Khorne, but Beastmen are just good, strong. For the Beastmen roster, we have Ungor Herds, Ungor Raiders in the back. Any archer unit is pretty good against demonic units. And then Pestigors and Gore Herds, too. This is a lot of infantry. Okay. Torox Brass Bolt providing some fire damage. If your opponent's going with a heal blob or something like that, or they want to use Nurgle healing on Fiends, Torox's fire damage can be quite nice. Plus his general tankiness and his brass body can make him hard to snipe by Blue Fire Kite. We have a Traitor King caster, deal with blobs, but also Vile Tide and Devolve. Then some Centaurs throwing axes and 4 poison dogs. Now what you're not seeing is Centaurs, which I'm surprised about. Centaurs are quite powerful, and they're most of the things keeping the Beastmen in the meta. You also don't see Minotaurs, which are their other strong things. This is a very off-meta Beastmen build. It's not crazy off-meta. I wouldn't call it meme or anything. It's just not what I was expecting. For the demon side, we have an Exalted Lord changes Tzeentch with Pink Fire and Blue Fire. Remember, this is Conquest. There's no attacking rolls. There's a central command point if you need someone to attack you for any reason, so Platypus is not doing anything wrong here. Shrieking Skyrays also offering their little Lamprey's Bite. Then we have a Soul Grinder of Nurgle, Exalted Plague Bearers, 5 Blue Horrors? No, 4 Blue Horrors, and the Sour Guts are our Pink Horror. 2 Seekers and a Fiend. Exalted Lord of Change diving in onto the Ungor Raiders, who are already softened up by the Soul Grinders and Lamprey's Bite. Quickly routes them off. I wonder if he's just going to go with the strategy of routing them 3 times to shatter them, rather than routing them and actually chasing them down. As the Soul Grinder gets some more shots onto Centaurs. Beastmen have got to make a play for the center point. They brought all this infantry. They need to use it to use capture weight and force Platypus in. Because right now, I mean, he just wants to kite you. He wants to just cast Blue Fire, Pink Fire, Soul Grinder, Lamprey's Bite whenever it's off cooldown. Platypus doesn't want to take the fight. You brought like 50 million infantry. It looks like the Beastmen realize that. They're charging down to the point. They're going to take it. Force Platypus to be on a timer. He'll only have so long to kite around before he has to commit to a fight. Okay. 4 Chaos Warhounds up on the high ground. I also don't know what they're going to contribute to this fight. It's not like you have traditional archers when you're the Demons of Chaos. You have Blue Horrors, and Blue Horrors are decently good combatants. They cause fear, physical resistance, decent weapon strength, and melee damage. Yeah. It's tricky as the Ungor Herds get in there. Torox is trying to hunt that Soul Grinder. I appreciate him just running past all these other guys. Man's on a mission. 68 speed versus his 64. Torox is actually falling behind, but ooh, he's about to start a charge. There, he'll catch him for sure, even if the Soul Grinder starts moving now. Dogs coming in 2 by 2. They start to peel off once they realize they've been spotted and that their attack formation isn't that good. And the Seekers surround Torox. Now this is something that has changed since Torox's heyday, is the Seeker meta has arrived. Seekers of Slaanesh have gotten so good after they got some buffs and some model changes. A Traitorkin hits them, plus Torox's little explosion does, and Brass Body trying to keep him alive, but the Seekers are still tearing through him. He needs support, and he needs it quickly as Pestigors are moving up. Archers are rallying in the distance, but they're not quite in position yet. And the Exalted Lord of Change even dives in. Torox is outnumbered like 100 to 1 if you count the Seekers as, you know, each model, but there's 3 units fighting 1 Torox, and he's not doing well with it. Devolve to try and debuff this guy a little bit so Torox can fight back, but the Seekers are still just chomping on his backside, whittling him down. He needs aid, and he needs it quickly. The Beastmen infantry are showing why a lot of people don't take them, because they are not very good at murder. They're getting through Blue Horrors, but they're getting through them slowly, and they're taking a lot of damage while doing it. The Beastmen are very behind in the balance of power, and I would tend to agree. Now, Torox survived his ordeal. No other Beastman Lord would have survived that, so I commend him for his bravery. But it's not like he was distracting for anything else to go well for him, as his Pestigors and Ungors are taking forever to get through these guys and getting shot all the while. Soul Grinder has gotten to safety somewhere. There he is. He's trying to fire at clusters of retreating infantry. Make sure they keep running. It looks like the Exalted Lord of Change is content to go after the Wilds caster for now. Throws out a quick pink fire behind it to damage the Gore and Ungor herds. The Beastmen just now captured the point. Damn. That's pretty brutal. Now this is a good catch. First thing I've seen go unequivocally correct for the Beastmen. First thing that hasn't been a trade is the Shrieking Skyrays get caught up by the dogs by baiting them to the ground with the Centaurs throwing axes. That should result in the death of the Shrieking Skyrays and should be Nice for the Beastmen. You still have a lot of Seekers left. You still have a very healthy Fiend and a very healthy Exalted Lord of Change, a healthy Soul Grinder. And I don't think all the chaff infantry in the world is going to kill those guys as Torox tries to get to safety. He was chasing the Soul Grinder again, but then he realized he might have been getting a little far ahead of himself, so he tries to get away. Stops in front of the Exalted Lord of Change, takes a rear charge. He should be okay against just the Exalted Lord of Change. What I'm worried about is if any of the Exalted Lord's friends are nearby. If the Fiends or Seekers want to pay Torox another visit, that could be a bad time. Army losses getting dangerously close for the Beastmen. Another Devolve. Try and help Torox with the duel. I get that going for the Lord Snipe is probably your best chance at victory at this point, so I understand it. I don't think he's going to be able to kill an entire Exalted Lord of Change with just Torox, but you gotta try. Fiends have taken impressive damage considering how wounded the Beastmen already were, but now there's nothing left to stop them besides maybe Torox. There's nothing left to stop the Seekers besides maybe Torox. There's nothing left to stop the Soul Grinder except maybe Torox. And there's not that much Torox left to go around, guys. He's very injured. He's very injured. As a blue fire goes for the caster, they're just going to army loss Torox at this point. They're tired of fighting him. As at last the walls close in. He probably has a brass body soon, but I don't think brass body stops army losses from just taking your ass out. As soon as that guy routs, it's over. There we go. GG. Are the teams like auto-generates, they're just doing whatever, or they can coordinating their picks and play order? The teams came to me to sign up, so the sign-up condition was just, you show up with 4 other people and tell me what nation you're fighting for, and that's it. So, like, these guys came as a team, they're usually talking to each other, they usually practice, and actually live coaching is allowed for this event. If you don't know what live coaching is, it's banned in most tournaments, like most serious try-hard tournaments, where you have someone on the microphone watching you play and telling you things like, your Lord's getting sniped, watch out, or something like that. That's generally considered cheating and bad manners. But this tournament, since it's a team tournament, I explicitly told them they can work together. So most people are playing a game with at least one or other people watching them, like saying, you know, watch out for this, look out for that. It's a team game, and it's explicitly allowed for this tournament, so it's fine. Is there a penalty for getting hit from a rear charge? Yes, your melee defense is reduced by, I believe, half if you're getting hit from behind, and you take a leadership penalty, attacked from the rear. All right. Do not despair, my friends, as Platypus did secure the victory for Team USA, but we do have one game left between General Eisenbart and Dustman. Don't go anywhere. We will cast that still. We'll see if the glorious Team Antarctica gets a 3-2 defeat or a 4-1 defeat. I just got to reboot Total Warhammer because I got to turn on the Total Tavern mod thing. Human Boy, you should have had it on the whole time. It doesn't affect replays. Well, I don't know that because I'm mod illiterate. So I just turned it off in case it messed with the replays. Because I would hate for... I don't know how many of these players are asleep. I don't know how many of them are USA time zones, or if they're over in Europe. Or in Antarctica, which spans a lot of time zones. So I would hate for them to wake up tomorrow morning and message me and be like, yo, that didn't go down how you thought it went down, and you made me look like an idiot. Wow, World Beater's forgetting Malice Darkblade in the corner. That's not a good play. World Beater, what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, it didn't go down like that. You were casting on a mod, you idiot. So let's do it. General Eisenbart versus RTK's Dustman. Wood Elves and Slanesh. Two factions I hear are very good on domination mode. Rear's 70%, 75%. See, I don't know these things. I forgot to join up for the Vatican. Eisenbart played 2 games? I didn't know that. Okay. I don't know much about domination, but we're going to learn, team, because it wouldn't be much of a World Cup if you didn't have every game mode being played and competitive represented, right? So let's learn together. For the Wood Elf starting army, I guess that doesn't matter as much because they're going to spawn in a bunch of shit, but we have Dwellers Below and an Earthblood Caster, a Glade Lord with Prey of Rema, some Deepwood Scouts, and Wildwood Rangers, plus a lot of Eternal Guard. On the forces of Slaanesh, we have some Chaos Knights, a Herald with Pavane, and then a bunch of Marauders, devoted Marauders with Spears and Hell Scourges. So it looks like Slaanesh wanted to start with 2 expensive Heavy Cav and then a bunch of Chaff Infantry to secure some ground and get space to work with. It looks like the Wood Elves wanted to get some shooting out, but mostly elite infantry. Wild Rangers are not cheap. And with the Rampage and Chaos Knights, already one Deepwood Scout is out of commission, but the Wood Elves have taken a pretty early double capture. Slaanesh is uncontested in this ground here. Looks like Eisenbart's going to let him have it. You can see most of the Wood Elves are kind of just trending up this way. I wouldn't be shocked if his forces that were going to counter here... Which one's an arrow again? I think his forces that we're going to counter here are going to instead form a bit of a bulwark here and create a bit of a back zone where you can summon in some Glade Guard or Deepwood Scouts and let them keep shooting, rather than commit them to a losing fight where you just don't have the resources. That makes sense. Saved up some money to buy Wild Riders. Now, Wild Riders aren't the Wild Hunters of Kuranos, so these guys don't actually have armor piercing, making them terrible combatants versus the Chaos Knights of Slaanesh. They're not going to get much damage out. Maybe he just wanted mass or something, but this is looking like the Wild Rider is summoned in very quickly to die. Slaanesh fighting back against the Wood Elf infantry. They're doing fine. We need some War Dancers. I think he took the Wildwood Rangers in case of Chaos Warrior spam, but since it's just Marauders, he's got to get War Dancers out here. They churn through chaff much quicker. Wounded Chaos Knights do get through that front line, and a summoned Chaos Fury makes sure that this Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts will get shut down once and for all. The Wild Riders are peeled back, and I think Slaanesh is going to be feeling very good about this early game. They're actually not that far ahead on gold damage value. I would have assumed they're doing better than that, but still, they're keeping up with the Wood Elves. And they're shutting down the shooting, which is pretty big. Hellstriders of Slaanesh find the Deepwood Scouts hidden in the trees. Taking those guys down does pull Slaanesh in the lead damage value wise. Now the Chaos Knights look to be a bit of a spent force, not actually getting that much DPS down on the Glade Guard. And with the Glade Lord here to peel them off, maybe the Starfire Shafts can get back online. Race to the Frozen Heart are spawned as well, but Slaanesh has taken the center point quite convincingly. Doesn't look like the Wood Elves will be able to grind it back with Fiends in the area as well as the Herald. It's going to be difficult to get Slaanesh off this point. Some sneaky Dryads made Slaanesh at least give a slight shit about Victory Condition 1, Victory Point 1, but Slaanesh isn't going to be sending any reinforcements over there. In fact, they're actually going for a triple cap at this point. More Seekers summoned on the battlefield at a very cheap price point and incredible speed. These guys can be summoned. I don't think... Oh, wow, they do have Vanguards. You can even summon them at your frontal points and then just immediately sprint into battle. That is brutal. I can definitely see why Slaanesh is strong in domination. Brave enough Rema is out on the Hellstriders Slaanesh. We have the remnants of Deepwood Scouts and Glade Guards trying to do some damage, but Bronze Shield through the trees, and these guys are already wounded. It's going to be pretty pitiful damage coming out of those guys. And the Wood Elves are now going for a Lord Snipe. Kind of a last-ditch effort. Not that the game is over, but Eisenbart's on the back foot, and he knows it. He needs to snipe out that Herald of Slaanesh and at least lower the leadership of these guys so that they maybe get some ground going again. Wood Elves still have one capture point, technically, and it's because Slaanesh had to dedicate their cavalry that were capturing it up to finishing off the Glade Guard. With all their shooting offline, their infantry in dire straits, their single entities are going to have to do some stuff. Slaanesh has one single entity. It's the Herald, who is their caster and their lord. The Wood Elves summoned in a sniping hero, they have a caster hero, and then they have a non-caster lord. So that's a lot of money in your single entities, and you're going to have to somehow turn this shit around. But the Seekers have found themselves a mage, and if they actually target her, she'll die super fast. I had a Slan die in like 20 seconds to Seekers, so yeah, she doesn't stand a fucking chance. She's dead instantly, and that is a huge loss for the Wood Elves. You can see their back has broken in the center. Everything besides these winter Dryads and that Eternal Guard have routed. And I think this is quickly going to become the Wood Elves just pushed back to their spawn zone and then unable to summon anything, and they'll probably bleed out. Wild Riders get narcissismed, locking them in place so that these devoted Marauders of Spears can catch up and get some decent damage. On 40 armor Wild Riders, it's not really going to be that hard for Slaanesh's Marauders to get damage out. Hi. You can say hi. We're near the very end, so it would be good for Bubba to say hi.
Hey, everyone.
Team Antarctica is fighting America.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
What's the World Cup? You gotta have World Cups things.
That's true, I guess Antarctica is part of the world.
Bubba, cast these guys. What are they doing?
Oh, they're running real quick.
That's all they're doing?
That's all they're doing. Just running real quick.
They're not murdering those wood elves behind them?
They're just running real quick.
Oh, that's good.
Look at them go.
Love that for them. Do you like this reindeer guy?
No.
What the hell?
Well, I can't see his face.
Eh.
Yeah, he's okay.
Okay. All right. You're not gonna be happy then.
Am I ever happy?
Yes.
No.
All right. For more actual analysis, the Waystalker is still trying to snipe out the Herald of Slanesh. Bye, Bubba. Thanks for saying hi. Trying to snipe out the Herald of Slanesh, but as long as Dustman keeps her technically alive, then he's getting full efficiency out of her. Still have a caster, still have your leadership buff for everybody. Slanesh has not managed a triple cap. Somehow the Wood Elves have held on to 0.3, but I really don't think Dustman's that worried about it. I think he's kind of switched over to playing this so he doesn't lose rather than playing to win. Because Wood Elves have a decent amount of stocked units, so maybe he doesn't know if there are Waywatchers he just didn't notice get summoned or something. So I think he doesn't want to overextend with Seekers, doesn't want to spread out his infantry too far, just doesn't want to make any mistakes. He has a double cap, he's ahead on points, he feels like he has a lot of battlefield control. You're in don't fuck up mode. You're not in push advantages and take risks mode. High voice in the background. That's my lovely wife, Grace. We love Grace. Is Antarctica like the international team? Antarctica is whatever they wanted to be. Listen, organizing a World Cup over the internet is difficult, and I can't exactly check people's passports. So, I was just like, play for a team, just play for one nation, call it good. They wanted to play for Antarctica, I'll allow it. Look at the Fiends doing flips. At this point, this is looking like a lot of my quick battle domination games, where I box the enemy into their spawn, they have no money, so they can't summon stuff. Wow, actually, Isambard has a shit ton of money. Spend it! Spend it! What did you just summon? He summoned 2 Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts, and he just immediately point and clicks them onto those Hellstriders. I like that. I like that. The last stand of the Wood Elves. They don't have stock, do they? No, they don't have stock, so... Dustman can see this. Yeah, he's falling back with the Seekers. I think he wants to get more in position than charging with 1 Seeker, because on the charge, magic damage, armor-piercing shots will actually kill the Seekers pretty fast. Who's Grace? Grace is some lady. Alright, Wicked. You did great. More Dryad summons. It looks like the Wood Elves are trying to get a second breath without just sending everything in to die. They're trying to reset up army lines. It's probably the best you can do in the situation you're in. The Herald takes another shot. I don't think they're overcoming all this Slanesh stuff, though. We have 2 light cav. We have, like, 6 light infantry out. Fiends are very healthy, so they're, like, heavy monsters infantry. And then we have a half health and a third health Seeker of Slanesh. You're not beating that with 2 archers and 2 dryads. Come on, buddy. But he's fighting. Still have 500 tickets left to go. I don't think we're going to go to tickets. I think what's going to happen is the Wood Elves are going to do their last stand. And I think if these 2 Glade Guard get absolutely massacred, then I believe General Isambard will probably FF. For now, he's trying it. Tier 2 Narcissism cast on the Glade Guard locks them in place. And now you can see this is why he didn't charge the Seekers in earlier. He wanted to get some light cav. He wanted to get some infantry all together so they could all rush the Glade Guard at the same time and not get focused fire down. So now the Fiends are in. Going to take a little bit of damage, but already the Marauders were tanking some of the shots before. But with the Narcissism, the Glade Guard couldn't fall back, so they're already getting killed. Life Wizard is back. I noticed her earlier cast a regrowth on our Lord, but another Fiend of Slanesh is summoned. There's still more Hellstriders. And still Slanesh is just hanging out. Like, we have 2 victory points. We're confident. We know what's over here. We don't know what's over there. Maybe there's Waywatchers, maybe there's not. So we're just going to stay over here where we know what's going on. He presented research at a conference, saw the opening stage of the Tour de France, and projectile vomited over the Heineken brewery. That's not great. Twist, because I'm terrible. That's why. So the Glade Guard got massacred. The Glade Lord looks to be in some trouble. Caster got routed again. And this is about the time I predicted that the Wood Elves would throw in the towel. Am I wrong? Possibly. But if I was the Wood Elves, I would have thrown it in there. You got no damage left. He doesn't have money reserves this time. Last time I said I thought he was going to throw in the towel. He turned out he had 1,600 supplies left. Now he has 600, so that's a little different. Deepwood Scouts getting attacked when a Dryad appears out of literally nowhere on top of the Hellstriders. Those Hellstriders are like, what the hell? Listen, because you know the Wood Elves tried to pull that shit where they're like, oh, those trees were troops all along. And the Hellstriders are like, no, shut up. There weren't even trees. There was nothing here. There was barren wasteland. And then there were fucking Dryads. You hate to see it. That lady is back for like the 900th time. She never says die. I have defended Slaanesh until this point. Okay, at this point, Slaanesh, you have enough units, you need to push your advantage. I don't know why the Wood Elves are allowed to have 0.3 at this point. Just take it from them. I don't know why they're allowed to spawn and get anywhere. Just take their spawn. You don't need to do this. This is too passive. Alright. Hellstriders surround the Glade Lord. They're getting some damage out, but as soon as their charge bonus wears off, they just don't have the melee stats to actually keep hitting him. They'll need Fiends to come over if they want any real damage. The Waystalker is standing triumphantly on the bodies of a dead Marauder that he was busy fighting with some earlier guys. But he has no shots left. I don't think he can snipe out that way at that Herald. No arrows of Kronos. Others didn't have to send a sample? Yeah, Hayseed. I required it from my team, USA 2. Because I'm just that kind of guy. I am going to ×2 speed. Because I literally don't see a path to victory for the Wood Elves. So I don't feel like watching them bleed out any further. Not trying to be a dick, just trying to be efficient with everyone's time here. Race the Frozen Heart and an Eternal Guard are going to try and charge downhill, but point cap is going to happen. GG. That'll be it. Dustman on Slaanesh. Taking it home. End score will be 4-1. And Team Antarctica will advance to go fight something. Sorry, not Team Antarctica. That's my bad. Team USA goes to fight France. And just for your viewing pleasure, let's go find that, shall we? World event. France versus USA. There it is. Now, if you are like me, nothing against USA 4. They're good lads. I like Valkanos. I like Big JP. Twerkman seems cool. Platypus seems cool. Dustman seems cool. But if you're like me, you're rooting for Team France, and here's why. Alfredino is on this team. He is not available for this week. So if France, bear with me. If France gets knocked out right here, and Alfredino was on the fucking bench, and I never get to see Alfredino? Nah, that ain't it for me. Sorry, USA 4. I'm rooting for France for this one. Let's go, Razel, Loopy, Rocket, Persian, Catholic Alcoholic. Don't deny me Alfredino in an important tournament. It's all I get up in the morning for. You think I get out of bed to go to work? You think I get out of bed for my wife? No, I get out of bed to watch Alfredino in a tournament that matters. So, we'll have France versus USA. France banned the Ogre Kingdoms, whereas this round, Antarctica banned the Empire. So, different ban there. And if you're interested, tomorrow we'll probably be casting Spain versus Scandinavia and Germany versus the Czechs. See if I can find those images for you. Spain versus Scandinavia is right there. Where is Germany? Well, where? There we go. All right, so probably cast these two series tomorrow. Germany versus Czechs. Czechia. That'll be fun. Race, Skarbrand, Ulti, Kukinko, and Daverko versus Totapashto, Blood for Corn. This is so fucked up. All right, Renegade Slayer, Waldsterman, and Soul God. Here's why I am anti this German team. You have Blood for Corn, and you banned Corn. You banned Corn when you have Blood for Corn? Fuck that. I'm rooting against this team. They're my worst enemies. Nah, I can't keep up the bit. I like these lads. They're good lads. But still, don't ban Corn when you have Blood for Corn. Let me see Blood for Corn play Corn, goddammit. And then we have this Scandinavia versus Spain. For Scandinavia, this flag is like an old Scandinavian alliance, but it's just people from Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and Denmark. Tidsdemonen, Bjorn, Bahrain, Shiryuki, and Martinius versus Spain's Urian, Bonya Roja, The Last Mohican, Tom Bombadil, and Zurihan. Should be fun. Should be fun. Yeah. We got lots of good games coming up. Lots of good times. It should be nice. I have nothing left to say, so please leave. Get out of here. Go away. Enter Soon Boy, are you winning, son? I haven't played yet. I'm on USA 2. Let's pull up my team. Everybody cares about my team. USA versus Netherlands. There we go. The boys! Got Captain Telis, myself, Incars, Hayseed, and Blood Penguin versus Pugdabone, Wicked, Twilight Harbinger, Contrarian Codex, and Bob Dat Builder. I play Wicked on Monday, the 13th. It'll be Beastman versus Skaven. We already did our picks and bans. I'm Skaven. Czechoslovakia. Dude, I keep getting trolled by chat. My geography isn't great, so I don't know, because I remember some people have said Czechia. I remember Czechoslovakia, and I remember the Czech Republic, so I don't know which one is updated. Czechia, a country in Europe, but it also says Czechoslovakia and Czech Republic are all in Google searches. Okay, it's Czechia. Cool. We're fighting the Netherlands. I know that one. USA? More like lose SA. When's the next new player tournament? I'm not new to the game, but I never played multiplayer. Seems fun. Bobip, if you're still here. So, yes, we do usually host new player tournaments every week. This weekend it is on Saturday. Big JP is hosting Conquest tournaments, and I'll be casting his new player ones. That'll just de facto be a new player tournament. And then I should host one of my own standalone ones next week. We took a little break because the end of the year it was hard with like me traveling for family stuff and then getting home, and I have to crank out content quickly because I ran out of content during the break and that kind of shit. So yeah, it's just been hard to host any streams. But yeah, we'll get new player tournaments up and running here again soon for you. Jeremy. Love that for you. Yeah, righty. But focusing up, GG's Antarctica. Thanks for playing. USA 4 will continue on. Carry on the good name of USA. We actually... Oh, no. Don't leave. Hey, you stay here. So, I was scared to disappoint anybody, but so far nothing has fallen through because it's all a big maybe. But you guys have to hear Team America. Let me pull it up. So Team America was a team made by Strat Game, but it has Gotrek Starbreaker, Flying Taco, you love Flying Taco, Rider of Rohan, some of us love Rider Rohan, not many, but some of us do, Strat Game, we'll love Strat Game, and then it has Turin. You might be like, is this the Spanish Turin? Are you trying to pull a fast one on us? This is the Spanish Turin? No, because Spanish Turin is on another team somewhere. He's on Spain 2. So here's my thing. Spanish Turin is on Spain 2. Turin is on Team America World Police. They're both playing domination. So here's what we got to get together. We got to get challenge. So what's the timeline? How do we get the Turin versus Turin matchup to figure out who's the real turn. So there's Team America World Police. There's Spain 2. So Spain 2 has to beat Russia. It has to be in finals? Oh, fuck. Okay, that's going to be really hard for Spain 2. So Spain 2 has to beat Russia, then probably beat Mexico, because Mexico's team actually looks cracked as hell. Maybe Germany or Czechia can beat Mexico. I wouldn't bet on it. I also wouldn't bet on Spain 2 to beat Mexico. But maybe they fucking can. All right, so they beat Mexico. They beat Russia 2. They get here. They'll have to fight USA 3 or 4, because there's no shot Alfredino's wimpy-ass France team makes it. Yeah, you heard me, French. What you gonna do about it? Win and let me see some Alfredino games? You wouldn't dare. See, I win no matter what. I either get to see Alfredino play if France wins, or if France loses, then they lose to USA, and I could be like, woo, USA. Anyway, Spain 2 easily crushes USA and gets to the finals. All right, so that's their path. Team America World Police has to beat either Scandinavia or Spain 1, then USA or Netherlands. So USA, of course. And then they have to beat probably Switzerland. Russia 1 and Switzerland both look really strong, which is why I gave them bye rounds, but Switzerland's probably a little more cracked. So if Team America beats all that, then they can get to finals. Honestly, I don't know who has the harder path. Both those paths are pretty fucking hard, but I need it. I need the turn v turn domination best of 5. Holy shit. That would actually be awesome. Hold on. The score? No, that's the tournament finals. The score is 2-2. USA versus Spain. It comes down to turn versus turn domination game for the whole fucking tournament. Oh, I need this to happen. I need it. Pump it straight in my bloodstream. That'll be great. That'll be great. All right, goodbye. I mean it this time. Leave. Go away. Shoo.